friends, and a very warm welcome to all of you here at AMA for this program on Inner Engineering by Dr. Heena Rachh. A lot of you may have attended her programs as she's been associated with AMA since the last 6 years. For those of you who are attending her program for the first time, here is a small introduction. Dr. Heena Rachh began her career with the Dalmias. She was with them for 5 years and she went on to Bharati Vidya Bhavans for the next 14 years. From 2010 to 2014, she was with the corporate school of Ahmedabad. Since 2014, she is kick-starting as well as heading this project of a new school at Bahrain for the Bharati Vidya Bhavans. She's interested in reading, sports, and music. She has been associated with value education projects, and she's conducted a lot of seminars on attitude engineering, NLP. She's also a Reiki master, a crystal healer. She has been the state champion in women's lawn tennis. In 2006, she was conferred with the Best Educator Award by the District Medical Association. She was also conferred a very prestigious UNO 2007 International Award for Excellence in the field of education. She has been the recipient of Rajiv Gandhi Award for Excellence in Education in 2011. Let us all welcome Heena Ben with a warm round of applause and a bouquet of flowers. Please either switch off or put your mobile phones on silent.
Thank you, Seema, for the generous introduction. Namaste to each one over here. Is going to be now. You must be having certain idea about what are you going to hear in this 1 hour. Basically, there were no problems. Had it been like we are social animals, right? And we are the generations from the apes. Had it been only continued with aping, I don't think so there would have been any issues. But the moment we started thinking, all the problems started. Had it been just eating, drinking, sleeping, we would have been so happy. But we want to be happier, and that's why we want to know that what is this inner engineering? The name is intriguing. How can you engineer yourself? You can engineer a car, you can engineer something which is mechanical, but how do you engineer yourself? That's where the challenge is. And we are going to talk about, say, 40-45 minutes, and later on, the forum will be open to everyone, and whatever we can share, because I don't think so I know, and that is why I am here. I am here, whatever I know, to share and learn few more things from each one out here, because I'm sure with the rich, experienced people which I can see over here, they have the wisdom of life. We have knowledge. We have all become encyclopedias, Googling, and all information gathering, and we are just converted into some kind of a zombie. Rather, it's great to learn the wisdom from all those who are gray-haired here, and they say that tadka ma vaad safed karya che. Right? So, ganela che ghana badaya. And that is how we are going to learn and share few of the things in an hour's time. Don't be so serious, okay? It's not going to be some kind of a heavy dose at which you have to pop down that pill, the bitter one, down your throat because you decided to walk inside the room, and it would look very bad now if you walk out in between. So feel free, but it has to be life. We have made it very serious unnecessarily. Life is all fun. Life is beautiful, life is enjoyment, isn't it? Now some people are already thinking, mara ghare aao to khabar pade. How beautiful life is. બહારેથી આવીને એક મહિના અહીંયા ટ્રાફિકમાં ચલાવો ખબર પડે ગાડી અહીંયા અમદાવાદમાં. You know, so these are the kind of things, because of course it's always difficult to walk into the other's shoe. દૂરના ડુંગર રળિયામના તમે એવું કોક લાગે, બહુ હેપી ના કરો, life is not that great, and you will come and see then. We'll work it out that how can we engineer that particular thing. Now, if we start with the body, the physical body, what are we? Some people say Upanishads and like we have gathered from our gurus and parents and grandparents, and we have the knowledge kind of a thing that we are mind, body and soul. Right? We are mind, body and soul. So what is this body then? This body, if we have to, like when we were born, how did we grow into such adults, and how did we grow our body? Naturally, we had to nurture our body with kind of food for eating, right? So then what is this body? Heap of food? Yeah. I mean, we don't like to think like that this is a heap of food, but that's the reality, isn't it? We are all heap of food which we have gathered and made up our muscles and bones and whatever. Then, so we are done with the body. What do we do with this mind? So what is mind? If body is a heap of food, what is mind then? Because, pardon me, yeah. Okay, that's one view has come, that it is controlling authority. Okay, so how did we learn controlling this authority? I mean, isn't it? How could we learn that technique to control? So, if we can narrowly put it, that similarly the way the food has made this body, lot of impressions from everywhere has gone into, and that's what the mind is. Layers and layers and layers of impressions. And we have made actually our mind a garbage bin of society. Yes or no? If you look at very objectively, very neutrally, and look at your mind with an open, naked eyes, you will find that it's a garbage bin of society, but good that we have collected the garbage there. Otherwise, we might run into garbage without knowing it. Now, at least when we have collected, we know this is the garbage. And there, the engineering is there. Because at least we have the set of impressions in the mind, and we know this is my garbage. At least we are familiar with our garbage. So, set of impressions that become mind. The problem actually started neither with the body nor with the mind. Where did the problem actually start? When emotions were introduced. Isn't it? And the whole of that, we think that why did Adam eat that apple? Eve eat that apple? Isn't it? Why did he on the earth had to give it to Eve? Because had not there been that apple, had not there been emotions, there was hardly anything to bother us. But now, what is not in our control and what is there now, we have to make sure that how do we engineer it. There were cars in the past, if you remember. I mean, if you many years back, there were cars designed in US also, where even if the steering wheel is here, it would go somewhere. You would move it here, from there it would move. And then slowly and gradually we improved upon the engineering methodology, and the cars became beautiful, and we could engineer and drive the way we wanted. Similarly, now what we have to do is, when we engineer our mind, at least we would take it the way where it wants to go, or we want it to go. આ તો આપણા જ કયામાં નથી. આપણું જ ઇમોશન, આપણું મગજ આપણા કૈયામાં નથી, આપણું દિલ આપણા કૈયામાં. This is too much. This is too much. Isn't it? કોઈ તો આપણું નથી માનતું, આપણું આપણે નથી માનતા. So there the engineering, and that is how we are talking about inner engineering, because growth. Now tell me, what is the purpose of life? All growth is inward, cannot be outward. So what is the purpose of life? How many of you want to become unhappy? Please raise your hand. Those who want to become unhappy. Oh, that's great soul out there. We'll discuss after the seminar what to do with you. But otherwise, the majority, we want happiness. Isn't it? Unhappiness, though, you don't need engineering. You are, that's great. And a lot of people would be there to help you. Absolutely. And they must be doing it. A great help already. So, we want to become happy. That's for sure. Are we looking for happiness in life? Yes. All of us? Yes. Great. So one thing is there that we all want to become happy. How many of you want to become unsuccessful? So you? Again? No. He only wants to become unhappy, but he wants to become successful. So what is the basic purpose in life? Is that we all want to achieve something in cash or kind, want some ideas to be materialized, want dreams to be realized, want our desires to be fulfilled, and all of us want recognition, love, pleasure, and success. Tell me if you do not want, or apart from this, anything you want. You may not want your wife or husband, I can't do much about it, but what we are talking about, what we want, right? There are people who would say, lai jao. Huh? But we are going to say what we want out of life. And basically, we are working towards, and why we want name, fame, recognition, or any of these things. Why we want? Because it gives us happiness. That is our definition, that success gives me happiness. And now what is success? Again, is a relative term. Somebody says, I want roti kapda makan. For me, that is success. Somebody says, I want to author a book. That's success. Somebody says, I want to reach at the top of the corporate ladder. That's the success. Great. Is there any harm in that? Is there any harm in being ambitious? No. But then do we fail? Do we get success? Whatever we have desired, we get it? Not always, right? So what do we do with that? And there it begins that what we wanted. Now one very fundamental question or a fundamental perception would be here, which we can ponder it upon, that if we want something and we are not getting it, my life is not going the way I want it, then it must be going the way he wants it. Isn't it? If the life is not going the way I want it, and in the same breath we say that I believe in God, isn't it? मेरी मर्जी नहीं तो उसकी मर्जी से चल रही है, तो चल बहुत बढ़िया रही है, isn't it? But now the problem is that it is not going the way I want it. Okay, then what do we do about it? What do we do about it? We make the world miserable. Because at job I'm not happy. My boss is a khadus one. Anybody who is not having a khadus boss? Generally, yes. Yes? Okay. So now something at the office is happening and I am taking it out at home because I didn't get the degree. I wanted to become a doctor. Then I didn't get the admission. And doctor I didn't want to become, actually my parents wanted to make me. All the parents want to make the children whatever they have, or children want to become. The youngsters are saying, yes, these are the parents, they want to make them something. So because I couldn't become a doctor, I landed into this kind of a job which I'm not passionate about. So what do is that you blame the entire world, and especially your boss goes at the receiving end. So we fail in life and we say that we don't have enough money. You do not know the way I have been brought up. બે ટાઈમનું ખાવાનું ઘરમાં નહોતું. કેવું બધું ઇઝી છે. નો કમ એન્ડ સી કેવી રીતે અમે મોટા થયા છે. We don't have enough money, we blame, we don't have big connections. Because these days we say that to get anything, હું કોનો દીકરો, હું કોની દીકરી. Something is important like that. So we don't have big connections, we don't have people's support. I would have done it only if my parents would have supported me. I would have done it if my wife wouldn't have been this irritating, or the husband the other way. Only if my spouse would have supported, I would have been where, maybe nothing less than an Ambani. Okay, so the wife is a problem, children are problem, parents are problem. So what we are doing is we are looking at the problems outside. And there is the point which we have to understand and consider, that if engineering, now happiness, when you feel happy outside or you feel happy within? Within. We feel happy within. But what we have done is, our remote we have handed over to others, that you make me unhappy. Wow, that's great. You gave power to someone to make you unhappy. How miserable. Could anyone be more miserable than you? That we have given the power to someone. Now, when some people, newlywed or otherwise also, and they feel it their duty to say so, and they say that you complete me. Isn't it? You complete me. Now, just imagine, that means you are incomplete without him or her. Now, when I'm incomplete without him or her, and the other person also says that you complete me, how can two incomplete people complete each other? Two incompleteness cannot be complete. So there the problem is that we are always telling someone outside that he is responsible or she is responsible. It could be my office, my boss, my wife, my spouse, my children, anyone but me. Isn't it? And that is why we need to understand that unless and until we turn the focus inwards and take the charge, take the responsibility, nothing is going to change. The traffic on Ahmedabad roads not going to change. What are we going to do about it? Crib about it? Or do something about it? Yes, we cannot spread carpet on earth, we can wear slippers. Carpet we cannot spread on earth. What we have to do is insulate ourselves. Now, is that enough? Service to humanity is the price we have to pay for living on this planet. That is where the challenge is. There's difference between problem and challenge. You know that? There's a difference between problem and challenge. When you have to engineer a car without the steering wheel, there's a problem, of course. But when you have to just drive the car on the road, that otherwise is a problem. When you do not have the steering wheel, there's a problem. But when you have to drive simply with the steering wheel, that's a challenge in Ahmedabad or anywhere in India, isn't it? But what we do is we keep cribbing about the whole thing, about the municipal, about the gutters, about the manholes, about this system, that system. This time when the rains were heavy, incessant rains for 2 days, and the water was cleared, did anybody speak about that? That yes, water got cleared quite better than the last year or in the years past? There were problems, but there were less problems. So we are always not looking forward to, so we sometimes say we only a height ma maar khai gaya, nahi to evo saras model bani gayo hot. Thodu रूप रंग बराबर होत तो I would have done wonders. कौन सा खान आज ऊंचा है, right? सब तो छोटे छोटे ही हैं. So where has height affected them? I was watching this Deepika Padukone's interview once, and like sometimes we think that, oh, we call her leggy lass. I mean, her legs are so beautiful. And she is the kind of girl all these youngsters would like to be. Ki, Kash aisi ho jaun. And when I was listening to one of her, interactions, tete-a-tete with some personality and interview, and she was telling कि दीपिका को पूछते हैं कि अगर कोई एक ऐसी चीज़ आपको बदलने के लिए बदलनी है तो क्या? Only if I could get my legs operated and make it an inch shorter. I don't like them so long now. This is so. Just let us make sure that whether those who are having, before giving any excuses, are they the real excuses? Okay. So now there are certain common distortions we'll talk about to engineer, because lectures are fine. We have heard enough of them. Did our life change any better? Yeah, but I call them 1 hour lectures are like first aid box. It arrests further deterioration. And then we say that lot of lectures I have been attending, બહુ કંઈ ફરક ના પડ્યો, આટલા તો રહ્યા નહીં તો શું થતે? અત્યારે જેવા છો એવા તો રહ્યા, lecture ના સાંભળે તો શું થત દુનિયાનું, isn't it? So apart from that, we are going to talk about techniques, methodology. Science cannot be philosophized. You cannot philosophize success. Yeah, we have heard the stories of Ambanis, we have heard the stories of Abraham Lincoln and our respected Prime Minister Narendra Modi and what not. We have n number of people and grandparents and parents. Those who are youngsters here enjoying the lecture, they would definitely, they must have the heroes at home. Papa mummy kai કેટલી વાર કહો અમારા જમાનામાં અમે આમ કરીને મોટા થયા. Huh? And just those who are parents, how much you have tortured your children, that how you have reached this stage. You know, what you didn't have and how you struggled. So those things. But we are not going to talk about philosophy. We are going to talk about the mechanism. What is that mechanism which can engineer our inner being? And how can we contribute? Because there are 2 kind of people on this earth. In fact, 3. One who watches things happening. One person is one who watches how things are happening. The other one who makes things happen. And the third one, who is he? He wonders what happened. Let us belong to that middle golden path and make things happen, rather than wondering or rather than watching things happen. So there are certain common distortions. One is that what we do is we exaggerate the things. Is it that, can the problem be bigger than ourselves? Are we not capable of solving the problem? We are capable. We are more than capable of solving. No problem can be bigger than we are ourselves. We have more power. Exaggeration, hyperbolic statement. There was this lady who calls up the doctor in the midnight. Doctor, please come. Now doctors are supposed to, because वो कौन सी oath लेते हैं doctors? Hippocratic oath लेते हैं, Hippocratic oath. उनको तो doctor you know. So he had to take the call midnight. Doctor, my child is having fever. Okay, have you just, do you have this thermometer in somewhere nearby? Just check what is the temperature. No, it's running very high, the fever is very high, please come. Yeah, by meantime, I come to your place, just tell me what is, yes, I saw the temperature, it is 115. It is 115. The doctor says, ma'am, please call fire brigade, not me. मेरी ज़रूरत नहीं है. So how we exaggerate hyperbolic statements, तो हमसे कोई सीखे, isn't it? So there's a problem that we have, is that when we exaggerate things, similarly we do with our problems. Similarly we do that with our problems, that we tell them that they are too big, but I don't think so they can be bigger than us. Personalizing. Everything is revolving around me only. Are you so important? Great. If you have that self-esteem, great self-esteem, we would be very happy. But you personalize it to the extent that nothing, everything revolves around you. Everybody is talking about you, everybody is talking about your dress, everybody, when you go out in the society, is talking about me, he's talking about me. Let us not personalize it so much, overgeneralizing, isn't it? Now we say nobody likes me, nobody trusts me, nobody loves me. मैं तो ये सोचती हूँ इतने वाइज तो लोग नहीं है, कोई तो बंदे बेवकूफ होंगे ना जो आपको लाइक करते होंगे. Are there so many wise people on this earth? So there are problems of overgeneralizing, and then there is ignoring the positive, remembering only the negative events or viewing completely positive events in negative light. મારી જોડે આવું થયું હતું વર્ષો પહેલાં, જો ને આવું થયું હતું. અરે why do you have to say હું પડી ગઈ હતી પછી ત્યાંથી? You have come back, now you are fine. Why are you recounting those events which has already happened? So we suffer 3 times actually. First we fear something, that something is going to happen. Then when it happens, and then when it has happened, n number of times we re-record and re-repeat and re-listen to those things. Isn't it? So there's a problem that we ignore the positive and concentrate on the negatives, jumping to conclusions. Neighbors have shifted to the vacant house just opposite to your house and just says, hello, sugar चाहिए होगी, अभी ये चाहिए वो चाहिए. Neighbors they have just shifted over here, they must be wanting something, jumping to conclusions. Otherwise, even like somebody would ask you, so કેમ છો? And you have your masala factory running. અચ્છા કેમ પૂછ્યું આવી રીતે? એટલે આમ પૂછ્યું કેમ છો એટલે દાળમાંથી પૂછ્યું કેમ છો? No, some sarcasm is there. It's not all right. So we keep jumping to conclusions. That's the problem. So we have seen that. What are the problems? What do? We personalize, we exaggerate, and then what do? We ignore the positive, overgeneralize things. Yes, and jumping to conclusions. These are the things. Now, how you say, yeah, वो तो हमें भी पता है कि ये सब हम करते हैं. So how are you going to? I can't do anything. There are 3 things, 4 actually, what I put the 4th one as. People are hired for their, earlier it was IQ was dominating. When the employers looked for people, for hiring people, they gave a lot of importance to IQ. Now the trend is EQ dominates. The person is ready to learn, and a lot of factors go into EQ. So emotional quotient, how balanced the person is. Then there was an added factor to the corporate ladder of SQ. The spiritual quotient, they started yoga in the workplace, they would create a gymnasium, and because they started thinking that body is also a temple, and they would have some spiritual discourses, they would send people to Vipassana. I hope some of you must have done, or if not, it's the right time to take up that course of 10 days Vipassana. So observe yourself, because basically that is the key. Vipassana is a Sanskrit term. Pashyana means watch. And we keep watching what neighbors are doing, we keep watching what people are doing, but we forget to watch ourselves. And that is the key where we have to, that will engineer, where we become aware about our emotions, where we become aware about when have I exaggerated, have I jumped to conclusion. Because we know we do all these things, but most of our life goes unconscious. We are not even conscious about what is happening. We are not even living in that consciousness. That where we have to work upon our awareness. Now, what are the root causes of failure we have seen, and in personal and social and professional life, is that kind of negative attitude. We'll be talking about some few attitudes and what is the nature of that attitude, and then we have to find out that where do I stand in this, which that attitude is there. When you will look at it, the most wonderful thing you will find is everything will be there in you. Everything would be there, but we'll find out what dominates your personality. One is the lack of ambition to rise above mediocrity, lack of concentration of efforts on the task at hand at the given time, or indiscriminate spending. Time management. Time ક્યાં છે? મરવાનો એ ટાઈમ નથી. શ્વાસ લેવાનો ટાઈમ નથી. ગજબ શ્વાસ લઈ જીવીએ છીએ આપણે. Excellent. What commendable thing you can do better than કે શ્વાસ લીધા વગર જીવો છો. Because શ્વાસ લેવાનો ક્યાં ટાઈમ છે? હા ને, છતાં બી જીવીએ છીએ. So you are already doing a great job. Isn't it? So there's hardly anything required. The habit of putting off until. કરીશું ને પછી. कल आज करे सो कल करे सो परसों, क्या जल्दी है जब पड़े हैं बरसों. Isn't it? So that is where, what is that? Careless attitude. Then there is this, we try to place ourselves above all, blowing our own trumpet. Who now hot to? Some people have that so much big me. Had I not been there, world would have been much better, happier. તું ના હોત તો બહુ સરસ હતું બધું. બગાડી દીધું આવીને. So don't feel that. Have you seen a ball full of water and put your finger in that? It creates a space. In that ball full of water, when you put your finger, it creates space. And when you remove, it's fine. So we have to understand our that no one is indispensable, and we are here. If we can do something great, at least not crib about it. Habit of talking too much and listening too little. We are always in a hurry to talk. Even when somebody is talking, what happens is we are preparing an answer. Ab main kya jawab dunga iska? Isn't it? So what kind of listening that is? तो आप बोलोगे हम तो अच्छे से बैठे, आप बोल रहे हैं, हम थोड़ी बोल रहे हैं. We are not speaking, you are speaking, we are at the listening. तो there's a beautiful thing about that. खिचड़ी जब चढ़ जाए, चूल्हे पे पहले चढ़ाते थे, गैस पे भी चढ़ती वैसे ही चढ़ती है. तो when it simmer, I mean जब कच्ची होती हैं तो फट 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 आवाज़ आती हैं, और जब पक जाती है तो शांत हो जाती है. तो जैसे कि when you become mature, आप शांत हो जाते हो, क्योंकि Lord Buddha felt कि when he was enlightened, there was hardly anything to say. When the message was to be conveyed, he said, क्या message दूँ? It can be only experienced. I have no words left now. And who is that enlightened person? Here this disciple asks the Guru, who was an enlightened master. He said, Master, now you are enlightened, but before the enlightenment, what you used to do? He said, I used to draw water from the well and chop woods. Okay, wow. And after enlightenment, Guru, what do you do? I draw water from the well and chop wood. He was so perplexed, the disciple. He said, how come? After enlightenment, still you are the same? Then how did enlightenment help you? He said, actions are the same. The quality of action has changed. All the quality of actions have changed. My entire quality of being has changed. Now some people, they meditate in life. Some people's life itself is meditation. And when it happens is, even if the cleaning of utensils, you put your 100%. These days people suffer from multitasking syndrome. And they are very happy about it. They multitask. Multitasking is a myth. If you are meditating, you cannot multitask. Because meditation itself is कि आप बर्तन धो रहे हैं तो give your 100%. आप लड़ाई कर रहे हैं husband wife से तो give your 100%. Do it, man. You can't fight and then you are thinking of something else. No, give your 100% with whatever you are doing. That is what meditation is about. And that is what awareness is about. So we have to make sure that when we listen, the quality of our listening is so beautiful that the other person feels like talking. The way right now I'm feeling like that, okay, yeah, there are so many people and something engineering is happening, right? So this egocentric attitude, hu na ho to, better, the world is much better place. So remove that I, me, myself. Then habit of forming opinions and building plans without basing them on first-hand knowledge of the necessary facts. What happens here is that Socrates, the great philosopher, he was sitting and this gentleman comes and says that, sir, you know what your friend has been talking about you? He said, definitely I would like to know, my friend, what is he talking about me? But before that, let me have a triple filter test. Let me apply a triple filter test. What is that? He says that if whatever the friend is going to tell about me, or whatever you are going to tell the friend has told about me, is it something, is it true? He says, sir, I don't know, I'm not sure because I have heard it. Okay, that's not true. That's okay. Still, I would like to hear the truth, but let us apply second filter. Whatever the friend has told, although you have heard, it is not true, but it is something good. He said, okay, there also is, in fact, contrary to that, okay, so it is neither true, you do not know, nor is it good. Still, I will apply third filter, that is it going to benefit me in any way? No, in fact, okay, then why should I listen to something which is neither true, neither it is going to be helpful, nor it has got any base. So this triple filter test has to be applied, whether it is good, whether it is going to benefit, or whether it is true. So if you will see, time management problem will be sorted out with this triple filter test, because most of our time would be in listening to this gossips. And if you just make a diary and put down how much time we are spending in listening to the things which has got no truth, neither it is good nor it is beneficial. And close, of course, those WhatsApp thing. Just don't put it at least in the notification, because this is, of course, a lot of businesses happen on WhatsApp. So technology has its own role positively to play, but is it a time waster? You have to make sure. Now, we have reactionary attitude. What happens is we are reacting all the time. Our life is full of reaction and not action. Now, you know this. How do you engineer that? You say, "But marathi control જ નથી થતો ગુસ્સો." Like, I am aware. When you are talking about awareness, I know. अब भी गुस्सा आने वाला है. I'm not short-tempered. पर बस आ जाता है. What do I do with that? Or, for that matter, any of the emotion. It's not under my control. Then how do I engineer that? So there's this little girl. And she is with that toy store. She's in the mid-market and somewhere. And she says that, "Mom, I want that." She was crying in, she wanted, and then she, you know how children do, niche besin pag pachade na. So she was doing incessantly, she was weeping, howling. And the mother, when she sees the child and she wants something, she says, "Jennifer, relax." There was this old gentleman also watching the whole thing, and he says that, okay, the child, because child attracted already the attention of the passers-by. And this gentleman is watching, and this lady says when she watches the child, "Jennifer, relax." The child is very adamant and still keeps on howling, and she wanted more the denial, more she wanted it. Again, the lady says, "Jennifer, do not create scene over here. Behave yourself. Jennifer, relax. But the child, you know how the children are. And she was gaining attention from the passers-by, and she thought that the mother would give in now. And she tries the last attempt. Again the mother says, Jennifer, relax. Don't create a scene. Don't lose your control. And this gentleman who was watching the whole drama and where the game would end, he goes there and he talks to the lady that, Madam, aren't you talking too much of an adult language with the child? Will she stop howling like this? You are using an adult language with the child. The lady looks at the gentleman and she said, who is talking to the child? I am Jennifer. My name is Jennifer. Who is talking to the child? I have to. That is inner engineering. That is inner engineering, because whenever you are stuck at the traffic signal, what is the first word that comes out? Oh? What is the word that you say? Right? Oh, shit. Rather, what we have to say, relax. Relax, you got some time. When we go to the restaurant, what happens? When we go to the restaurant and we have gone there to enjoy, but we are unable to enjoy and waiting why the waiter is not attending. And the ego gets hurt if there is another group of people, they have come and they are attended first. Kaun pehla aayu tu? Ayaw to bhai. Who came first? Attended. Huh? You have gone there to relax and you are stressed out. You have gone there to enjoy and you are stressed out. So, lot of such circumstances, whenever you find yourself, tell yourself, Jennifer, relax, because that is expectation management we'll talk about. So, your reaction, why do you become slave to you are selling your piece to someone. That's so important. Your boss can make you miserable. Your subordinate can make you miserable. Your husband or your wife can make you miserable. Your children can make you miserable. Anyone other than you who is there can make you miserable. So what kind of an existence we are living? We have given the remote control to others, make me miserable. So they put the button and we are miserable. So peace cannot be so cheap. Peace cannot be so cheap. That choose your battles wisely. Choose your battles. You don't have to run into every battle. Something happened, why do you want to get into every simple small argument? And the world is not, if there is something you can do, change it. Be the change you want to see. If you can be that change, otherwise simply sitting and cribbing and about cleanliness is not going to help municipal in any way. I throw the garbage here and there, I litter the roads, and I do all the puja and put it in riverfront, all the coconuts and everything. And then finally, I blame everyone that we are not, we will remain only developing. We will never get into developed tag. No, but that is how, if we can do something, take charge. And what you cannot do anything, what you have to do? Relax. What you can't do. Otherwise, all your engineering will happen there. And then we have quite insincere attitude, isn't it? We forget the good done by others. We forget what others, that gratitude. We crib about what? This is not there or that is not there, because there are a lot of expectations and which will not be fulfilled. You will always be cribbing and will be always be want. So instead of that, why not develop gratitude for every little thing? Be grateful that the day has begun in the morning. Grateful, this is the gift of God to you. And what the neighbor is doing, let us stop bothering about it. What am I doing? Let us bother more about that. let the neighbor live in peace and let you live in peace. That is how it has to be. So stop blaming and indulging in negative gossip. But gossip વગર की મજા આવે? મજા આવે ને gossip કરવાની. I mean, can you digest food without gossiping? મજા ના આવે એવી રીતે gossip ના કરીએ તો. But, okay, what we can do is something which cannot be handled. I mean, they say there's something which cannot be cured has to be endured. So how do we endure? Because old habits die hard. Gossip આટલી કરતા હોય ને એમ કંઈ થોડી લેક્ચરમાં જઈને ભૂલી જાય gossip. મજા આવે કરવાની. And that's food actually. So, because they say gossips run down more people than cars do. Character assassination is pastime in India. Or maybe, at least I can speak about India because I have lived most of my life here. So what do we do about this gossip? There is a very simple solution. We can engineer that. You can have the cake and eat it too. Gossip કરીને food digest થઈ ને મજા આવે gossip કરવાની. So what do we do? Gossip about Ekta Kapoor, Karan Johar. Okay, talk about people who are not going to get affected by you, or some event which gives you happiness. You can discuss, you can talk, you can be part of something and it is not affecting the neighbor's child. So do something which is the habit, then steer it and make sure that it doesn't hurt, damage anyone. Let us not assassinate the character of the people because it may not be true, you have only heard. It may not do good, it may not be good, and in fact, contrary to that, it is bad, and again, we are not going to be benefited by it. So, make sure that gossiping and anything, how many of you have this blaming attitude? Sometimes. Oh, I did everything properly. It is only because of her or him this happened. Every moment, just keep a diary and watch 24 hours of your day, which are the waking hours, 15, 16, whatever hours, and watch yourself how many times you have blamed the other person. હું તો ગાડી બરોબર ચલાવતો તો બાજુવાળો. So everyone is driving the car properly. It is the the other person who is not driving properly. Everything, I am fine. What other person has a problem, and that is so. Let us observe that how many times we blame others. And this is again fearing attitude. We are all, death is a fear. Next to death, people say public speaking. I can't speak in public. There's a fear. Disease, આવું થઈ જશે તો આમ થઈ જશે તો થવાનું હશે ત્યારે થશે. Whatever is going to happen, can you stop it? So rather than that, whatever you fear, face it. If you are afraid of darkness, face it, go. What will happen? Bhoot avse, so he will run away. Why should you worry? If bhoot will be, ghost is there, he should worry, or she, whatever it is, I don't know. So if ghost or something exists in darkness, then you need not worry, isn't it? If we fear height, if we fear depth, whatever, water, anything, face your fear. Dar ke aage jeet hai, right? So face your fears and whatever, come what may. There is a difference between daredevilry and courage. આજ લેક્ચર સાંભળીને અમે તો 20માં માળેથી કૂદકો માર્યો. ફેસ યોર ફિયર. મને ડર લાગતો હતો હાઇટનો. સો આઈ જસ્ટ જમ્પ ડાઉન, યુ નો. નો, યુ કાન્ટ ડુ દેટ. So there's difference between daredevilry and courage. ઉપરથી જમ્પ કરવો હોય તો જોવાની બધી વ્યવસ્થા બરોબર હોય. Yeah, you want to overcome that fear, but make sure that there are things which would protect you. Fear of death, fear of so many things. So just make sure that, because if we have all this kind of things, as a result we are led to an attitude by which we do not understand the right when it is told. We do not see the good when it is observed. We do not understand the meaning when it is explained, and we do not realize the importance when it is told. Now what happens? What do you see here? What is that? God is nowhere. Now here. It is the perception. God is nowhere or God is now here. We have to understand this, that you cannot change. You have to clean your glass. You know the story of that window where this lady always told the husband कि सामने वाले कितने गंदे कपड़े धोते हैं, कितने गंदे कपड़े धोते हैं. She doesn't know how to keep the house clean. रोज देखती है कितने गंदे कपड़े धो के सुखाए हैं. Is this the way to hang the clothes? See how dirty they are. And the husband says, clean the glass that is dirty of our window. उसके कपड़े साफ हैं, आपका ग्लास क्लीन कर लो घर का. So this is how we have to engineer ourselves inwards, because moment, where are the problem? Where is the problem? Is that the problem is about the expectations. We are unable to manage, and those expectations which we have from the world outside. If we will see where the misery has been or wherever the unhappiness is, because there have been certain expectations from the other person, and that is the cause of our misery. So why not manage, engineer the expectations and turn all the expectations inwards? Whatever, you have charge of yourself, you have no charge of the other person. What the other person has to do in life, you have no charge over that, but at least you can take charge of yourself and expect from yourself only. Very important is for the engineering, again, apart from this is, we talked about IQ, EQ, SQ. And the fourth thing which I talk about is AQ. Action quotient. Otherwise, without action, nobody can. One can take the horse to the pond. The horse has to drink the water. So without that, it is not possible to do anything, isn't it? So that is why action is very important. I have heard everything. I know, I have read everything. Gandhiji never read many books in his life, they say. He read only very, very few selected books, because he said, my life is my message. What is the message you have to give? My life is my message. Can we live a life like that, which can be a message to people? Oh, એટલું બધું મારાથી ક્યાં થાય? I mean, હું તો એકદમ સામાન્ય માણસ. Who is ordinary? Something who does extra becomes extraordinary. And that extra, are we ready to put in that extra strength, those extra power, those extra thought? What extra can we put into that ordinary, and anyone can become extraordinary? It's not that everyone can become. This is the journey of Buddhu to Buddha. Jiv Shiv thava ayo chhe, and this is the journey, and everyone, we are Buddhas, but in the process we have become Buddhu. Let us get back our Buddhahood. Each one has the potential to become Buddha. And that's where engineering is required. If now anything which you want to tell, because blah, 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 blah. Right? It goes on. So now tell me if you have anything which I can be sharing with you. Any questions? Anything?
On behalf of all of you and AMA, I would just like to present a small memento to Heena Ben.